Hey guys, Leo J. Smithmaster here, and I'm here to give you my character concepts for Human Torch and The Thing if they ever come to Marvel Rivals, which is very likely. First up is Johnny Storm, who'd be a 250 HP duelist with two passives. The first, Bringing the Heat, means that whenever he damages an enemy, they're ignited for 3 seconds and take damage over time. And the second being Flame On, where he can double tap space to enter and exit the state of free flight, and then when he's flying, his body becomes wreathed in flames. When he used his Prime Fire, he'd just throw a fireball, then his right click would basically he'd just like his feet would get locked in place, or kind of just get locked in place and thrust his hands forwards, sending out a burst of flame. That'd have a 3 second cooldown, so yeah, it'd be used quite regularly. His E ability would basically stop nearby enemies being ignited, and then he'd kind of absorb the flames to give himself health. And if he went over max health, he'd give himself its damage and speed boost. When he uses his left shift ability, Human Torch creates a wall of flame that damages enemies that goes through it. And when he uses his ultimate, he basically just becomes invulnerable for a few seconds as he gathers up loads of fire, the energy, or fire, and then just kind of explodes. When he uses his team up ability, he gives nearby Fantastic Four members, well, nearby ignited enemies do less damage to allied Fantastic Four members. Human Torch believes that a good offense is the best defense, and wanting to ignite as many enemies as possible in order to use Fast and Furious and then make the rest of your attacks even more powerful, hopefully. And he works best alongside characters who can keep him in a fight or trap or hinder your opponents, so you can ignite as many enemies as possible. Now, for our final member of the Fantastic Four. The Thing would be an 800 HP Vanguard with the passive Yanzi Street Kit. He'd have kind of, not me to think, but something akin to what Mantis has, where he would load up 4 charges, and whenever he got a kill, he'd gain 1 boulder, and when he reached 4, he'd lose all of them, but he'd go into a state of boosted damage and damage reduction, as well as being immune to being stunned and have knockback reduction. Then his left click would just be basically basic punch, but like high damage. And his E ability would basically he'd run to target ally, grab them, and kind of not hug them, but shield them from all damage. So he'd take the damage instead of them. And it would also be good just as a movement ability to some extent. When he used his left shift, he'd swipe the air in front of him, and if he hit an enemy, he'd hurl them forwards at high speed, which would damage them when they hit something, and also if it hit an enemy, damage them. And maybe if it hit an ally, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened if it hit an ally. But if you didn't hit an enemy, similar to Magic Accessing a portal, for a short window, you'd have the choice to use your right click in order to scoop a chunk up off the floor and then hurl it forwards, but that would expend a boulder. His ultimate is, of course, it's Cloven Time, and he'd instantly go up to 4 boulders and charge. Basically, he'd kind of, when I say charge forwards, I mean he'd just have an increased movement speed and wouldn't be able to use abilities. But whenever an enemy came into range, he'd just smash them with a fist, knocking them back and dealing high damage, and also stunning them. So you're just gonna be charging around, and yeah, just just like a bowling pin, like a bowling ball to bowling pins. His team up ability would be more of a passive, where when he uses catch or get behind me, a nearby ally who is a Fantastic Four member would become immune to knockback and stuns for a few seconds. So Ben Grimm would be a great brawler who'd be more complicated than he seems because you have to manage his boulder meter and try and pop it off at the right time. And you can even use catch when there's no enemies nearby as a way to keep your boulder meter low enough so that then, when there are enemies still alive, you can kill one and just go on a rampage. And he's good at protecting his allies by, one, hurling the enemies away, but also just shielding them. But other than his throw, which would more probably just be like straight in front, he can't really attack flying characters at all. So, yeah. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this, go check out my other Fantastic Four Marvel Rivals custom character video, and just my other Marvel Rivals custom characters videos. And then my next episode of the series will probably be the Summers duo of Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, and Jean Grey, also kind of for Phoenix. Ta-ta.